Hi everybody, this is Salah and you guys are learning C Sharp step by step in this course. In our last lecture, we talked about comments. We learned how to put comments and the role of the comments in a program file. And I told you we would cover programming errors in the next lecture. And this is the next lecture. So let's move on and talk about programming errors. In programming, errors are categorized in three types or three categories. The first one is compile time error. The second one is runtime error. And the third one is logical error. So these are the three types of errors in programming. In order to understand the first two types, compile time and runtime, you need some background. You actually need to understand the compile time and the runtime. Together, they define the life cycle of a program. We will start with a very important term which is called compiler. You remember when we installed the program Visual Studio, we chose a package called .NET Desktop Development. That package actually comes with a very special program which is called compiler. Every programming language has its own compiler or interpreter. They are very special programs. As you can see the definition of a compiler on the screen, a compiler translates the source code into low-level language like binary language or the bytecode so that the computer's hardware can execute the code, right? So compiler is actually a translator. While compiling the source code, compiler does some analysis. We are not diving deep into it because compiler does a lot of different things. But one thing that we need to know is syntax analysis. Every language has its own syntax, and it's a compiler's job to find out if the syntax used in a program file is correct or not, right? So syntax analysis is the compiler's job. As we know some facts about the compiler, we can discuss the life cycle of a program. A computer program goes under two different phases: compile time phase and runtime phase. Whenever we run up a program, it starts from the compile time and then enters into the runtime. In the compile time, compiler involves itself, translates the source code, and checks the syntax. After the successful compilation, machine code is handed over to the computer's CPU for the execution. And so you see the output of your program. That simply means your program is running, and this period of time duration is called runtime. Runtime simply means your program is running, and after runtime, you can terminate your program. So a program's life cycle is from compile time to runtime and then termination. Now we know the difference between the compile time and runtime. Let's go back to our first slide. We have compile time errors and then runtime errors. Compile time errors are shown or displayed under the compile time, and runtime errors are thrown under the runtime or execution time. When your program is running, you will get the live demo of compile time, runtime, and logical errors. Let's jump into the code. Here is our code file. You see the code from the previous lecture. Let's remove the code and change the topic: errors in programming. The first error we are going to discuss here is compile time error. And I need to activate my error list. We are talking about errors. We need to consult with its error window. So compile time errors. Compiler shows such errors in the compile time. That means before the program is executed. If you have compile time errors, you cannot run the program. Your compilation won't be successful. Most of the time, compile time errors based on wrong or incorrect syntax. Let's have a couple of examples on it. We are using a simple write-line method with an argument, text argument hello. This line of code is perfectly fine. There is no error in it. Now I remove semicolon, which is a part of the syntax, and here you see the error semicolon is expected. The same way I can remove this double quote. You will see the error, double quote is expected, or something is wrong with the code. Programming is case sensitive. That means we do not change the case of the letters. For example, this C is capital or in the uppercase, we cannot write in the lowercase. Now you can see the console does not exist, right? So we need to be very careful and respect the language syntax. Now, like I said, compile time errors are detected under the compile time. Now, for example, I once again remove the semicolon and you immediately see the error in the error window. We have an advanced IDE and it actively checks the syntax in the code file. But if you try to put our program in the compile time phase, it won't compile because of this error. So let's try to run the program, and this is the compile time phase. And here comes error notification. There is some error in our code and we don't wanna compile our program. So let's put the semicolon back. Let's have another example. I create a number variable and assign it a value n. And somewhere in the code file, I once again create the same value and assign it another number like this. Now, this is also a syntax error in the programming. We cannot create a same variable twice in a code file. And here you see the error in the error window. A local variable named num is already defined in this code file. Our code won't be compiled if I try to do so. So let's run the code and you will see the error notification, right? That was the compile time error. The second type is runtime error. Runtime error, as we know, are thrown when the program is running. Something happens that program cannot tackle or handle. Let me show you a couple of examples of runtime error. I will write some code and you won't consider code so much. Our focus here should be on having good understanding of errors in programming. Let's say I want to read a number in a program when the program is running. I will write a line of code like this. We will cover all these things in our coming lecture, but I can shortly describe what is happening here. Using the read line, we can read data from the console. Console is a black window and we see that window when the program is running. So we are reading data from the console. We are converting the data into the integer numbers, and then we are assigning that data to this variable. If I run the program now and try to give this readline method something else other than the number, our program will simply crash. So let's run the program. This is a compile time phase. And now you see the runtime, right? So we are now in the runtime phase. You see this black window, console window. And now I will assign something which is not a number. Let's say ABC. Now press enter and you see an exception error is thrown by the program, and that simply says the string ABC cannot be assigned or converted to this integer format. This error is unhandled and our program is now totally halted. Please, we cannot do anything. We must terminate the program. So that was an example of runtime error. Let me show you another example. For example, we have an array of numbers that contains several numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We will cover array and its different types later on in our course. You don't need to worry. So numbers is an array which have 5 components and every component has an index value. Using that index value, we can access the component. Index values start always from 0. So 1 is at index 0, 2 is at index 1. This is how it works. We will discuss more about it later on. Now I want to let the user choose a number to print, and user will simply insert a index value. The valid index values are from 0 to 4. So let's create a variable like this, and once again we will read a value from the console like this, and we'll insert the value inside the number array. Now what will happen as we run the program and provide a value which is invalid, index value which is invalid, our program will simply crash and we will have a runtime error. Before we run the program, so let me just deactivate this read line. Now run the program. We know the valid index values, and I am going to provide here, let's say 10. This value is invalid. Our program is running. As you can see, it's black window. Let's press enter, and you can see once again an unhandled exception. And it says index was outside the bounds of the array. That simply means index is invalid and it does not exist in this array. So we must terminate the program. So that was the runtime error in programming. And the last one here is logical error. You can guess what that can be, right? Logical error is actually an error in your logic. These kind of errors are very typical and difficult to remove and fix because you don't see any error. What you see is wrong calculation or wrong answer. Let's have a very basic example of a logical error, and we write an expression like this: 10 plus 40 minus 34 multiplied by 5 plus 9 divided by 3. Right now, our program will solve this calculation as we do in mathematics. We also have same priority rules in programming. Our program will calculate this one first. Right after that, our program will calculate this one because multiplication and division have higher priority than addition and subtraction. After multiplication and division, our program will perform addition and subtraction. But if I enclose some of them in the parenthesis like this, the result should be must be different. Now our program will produce the different result. It will solve the parenthesis first, then multiplication, then division, and in the last it will do addition. So logical errors are actually errors in your program logic. They are hard to find and fix, but there is a technique which is called debugging. Using the debugging technique, we can walk through our code step by step. We can read what is happening, what is changing, and updating in our code. We will cover debugging technique later on in our course. It really helps to find and fix the logical errors. So my friends, that was a lecture on errors in programming. And now we know in programming, there are three types of error: compile time error, runtime error, and logical error. We also learned some important terms in this lecture like compiler, the role of the compiler, compile time, runtime, and the life cycle of a program. It's now time to wind up this lecture, and in the next lecture, I will give you some important tips to code and use this program file. The program file has some important features, and by using them, you can program more effectively and enhance your productivity. I will see you in the next lecture of this course. Thanks for watching this one.